Well, thanks for tuning into the market wrap. And what an electrifying day it was. We've continued the rally from Friday's session. And remember, this morning in the trade setup, I was saying that if you look at the cues or if you look at the math of derivatives, this, that, etc., it'll all look negative. But hey, it is precisely when cues are like that the market does well. And it's almost a mirror reflection of what happened in trade in Friday's session. There were three stocks declining then. There are four stocks declining then. So the market breadth is looking extremely buoyant. Look at the gainers. And again, across the board, the rate sensitives right up there. Select pharma names doing well. Actually, pharma was the bigger, broader market play today. But on the large cap side, rate sensitives, IndusInd, Bajaj Finance, Axis Bank. So the Bank Nifty put up its hand. A lot of shorts in the system, and therefore I think some bit of short covering also would have happened in the Bank Nifty today. ICICI Bank being up 4% is that big heavyweight, right? Which went up in trade. And then there were stocks like Tata Motors, ONGC, which went up because of a proposed rule change or a believed rule change. Bloomberg reported on Friday that there will be a change to the APM gas pricing rule or mechanics. And if indeed that happens, it's a big positive for ONGC viewers. So keep in mind just before we go to mid caps, I just want to tell our viewers you have to keep in mind that if indeed in the next 2 or 3 days, typically the gas pricing mechanism gets notified for application from October 1st, which means today's 28th. There are 2 more days left. If indeed this gas pricing norm comes out and it's not linked to the US and European benchmarks, but to the Asian benchmarks, then it could trigger a further up move in ONGC as per Morgan Stanley and Credit Suisse, as per the understanding of my notes of Morgan Stanley and Credit Suisse. So keep that at the back of your mind. Now, the broader end of the spectrum had some really strong gains today, especially to the pharma side. But aside of that, even some of the others. Look at that market breadth, right? Terrific. 441 advancing to 57 declining. PVR, West Bengal government saying that the multiplexes could be open from 1st of October. That led the stock to do really well, up about 12%. NoSil went up, again, one of the specialty chemical names doing well. A lot of labs, APIs were not far behind today. Really good going. Tube investments, there was a Spark Capital note which spoke about how the investments of some of the Tube group companies could actually do really well. And therefore, Tube investments was up about 9% in the session today. That aside, MCX, big volume buzzer, Sequence Scientific, big volume buzzer. And therefore, I was saying that how specialty chemicals and pharma in particular did very well. Escorts too did well. The belief is that the tractor numbers will look strong, as a result of which that stock was up about 7%. What didn't do well? GMM Pfaudler continues to grind lower. Now it is very close to its OFS price and sub 3,500. When it reaches, maybe just maybe it might get some buying interest. But for today's session, on fairly low volumes, as you can see, the stock was down about 5%. Aside of that, not too much to talk about. Now, keep in mind, viewers, it's a busy week simply because, one, as I said in the trade setup, we'll have the APM decision, we'll have the auto sales numbers coming out in 2 days from now, and if indeed Bharti, Vodafone, and some of the others put in um, anything regarding response to geo plans, then that's the other thing. Last but not the least, there were some rumors today about how the Maharashtra government might allow restaurants to start off. We have no confirmation of the same. Difficult to see that happening in light of all that's going on with the cases. But if indeed it does happen, then companies like Specialty Chemicals, Jubilant Foodworks, etc., could also be in focus tomorrow. So you have to be mindful of that. The world markets are not looking all that tough. Nasdaq futures, the last time I saw, were up about 1.2%. The FTSE CAC DAX up in the green. In fact, DAX has a 2.5% up move. So cases may be moving up. I think the markets are discounting that. So let's wait and watch if this lasts. And remember, viewers, we're coming now very close to the US elections. Tomorrow is the first of the debates between Donald Trump and Joe Biden in Ohio. And therefore, volatility in the equity markets could rise even if anything else doesn't. So you have to bear that in mind. But it's been an interesting day of trade is all I can say. Watch out for autos, watch out for the chemicals, watch out for pharma stocks. These are the ones that everybody needs to keep an eye out for in the session tomorrow. Thanks so much for tuning into the trade setup today. Goodbye.